This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN and Movement.
I love both those guys.
I know you do. Companies.
They're personal friends of mine.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Right?
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and television shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host Nick Mason. What's up, Nick Mason?
It's great to be here. I've
Isn't it?
got a little time off in my life.
What are you going to do with your time off in your life?
Well, I went and took a little boat ride in the Suez Canal.
How was it?
Could have been better.
You told me something today.
Yes.
I was telling you before the show.
When we went for our morning run.
That like since having kids and since having two kids even, I operate at about 40% at all times.
Uh-huh.
Like you've probably noticed it in my I'm not obviously the same person I was.
Sure.
Because
you're a shell of a man.
Yeah, I'm never.
That's what I tell everyone I know.
I'm never fully charged, really. But you said that you woke up at 8:45 and then you went, and you went back to sleep, and I'm just like, fuck, how was that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
You kidding me? That's crazy.
And I want to answer on air. It was great.
Yeah,
it was
I bet it fucking
really
was.
good. When I got up, I'm like, do I have breakfast? Do I have lunch? What do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
What do I do?
Yeah. Anyway, so this week, Mason, big news. We've got a bunch of big news, including more delays, but we got a definitive date for Black Widow. We got a
right.
surprise Suicide Squad trailer drop. We got a bunch of DC news, including related to the Snyder Cut.
Oh.
Bad news also, Mason, if you're a big fan of that, which I know you are. And then
I liked much of it and not all of it.
according to some, you hated all of it, and you're upset that I didn't hate it.
Oh, that's right. I do hate all of it, yeah.
And then we're going to talk about Invincible, the first 3 episodes, which
But
landed
before
on
big
Amazon.
news,
Yes.
big plugs.
Big plugs, Mason. What do you
Because I
got?
keep forgetting to say this. This week, actually, I
Yes.
was on an episode of Do Go On
I
after a
listened to
very
that.
long absence and
Yeah.
not seeing a couple of those guys for probably a year.
Whoa.
I know. I was on an episode of Do Go On because Matt was doing a TV thing.
Yeah.
So I popped in and
He was fixing a TV.
He was fixing a TV. He was like, "There's no time for podcasting. I've got to change these fuses."
That's
It was
right.
one of those old boxy ones.
I got to replace this area with a coat hanger.
Right. Oh, it's not working.
He's old, we're old. That's the joke.
It's not working, so I'm just going to stack another TV on top of that first TV and never get rid of the first TV. No, he had to go and do a TV thing, so I was on there, and we talked about. Dave did a report on the infamous escape from the Maze prison in Ireland, which I'd never heard about. But
I didn't either. It was a great episode.
A thrilling tale. But speaking of, because the Melbourne International Comedy Festival is on, I will be doing a live version of Matt Stewart's podcast, Prime Mates.
Yes.
So it's myself and Matt and Cass Page and Evan Monroe Smith.
What a
the
team.
the dream team is what I call it. Nobody else calls it. And that's going to be on April the 4th. I should have figured this out ahead of time, but I'm going to do.
That sounds right or wrong.
It sounds right enough, doesn't it? Hey.
Yeah. So that is a week from today.
Oh, here it is,
when we're
April
recording.
4th, 2 p.m. at the European Beer Cafe. Just check. It's on my Twitter.
Next Sunday, yeah.
And
Wait,
also...
is that Easter?
Yeah.
I was going to go. I can't go to that.
Can't
It's
go
Easter.
now. Yeah, you can't do it now.
I'm operating at 40%, Mason.
Once you've hidden those eggs, that's you done for the day. But also, if you are interested, that is a big day because there's also going to be a live version of Dave Warnicki's Book Cheat podcast.
goodness, yeah.
And there's also going to be a live episode of Do Go On. So you can do the whole day.
Do go on in a bonanza now.
Yeah.
Do go on a Nanza.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That's really
very
cool.
good stuff. Also, because it is Melbourne International Comedy Festival, I've seen a few shows. I would recommend some like a couple of years ago I was on Josh Earl's podcast, Don't You Know Who I Am?
Oh my goodness,
With a comic
yeah.
named Lauren Bonner from Sydney. I saw her show last night. It was very funny. Very good show. I sounded surprised, but I'm not surprised. She was funny on the podcast. She's funny in real life.
Continues to be funny.
Continues to be funny, but because she lives in Sydney, I'd never seen her do stand-up before.
Yeah.
And she's doing that for the rest of this week. If you're listening to
great.
this as it comes out, just pop on down.
In the lead up to Easter.
Yes.
Pop on down. That's terrific.
You got nothing to do before Easter.
No, you really
on
don't.
Easter, busy.
Busy.
Why would you do anything on Easter besides either plant or hunt for eggs?
Exactly. 2 things.
Tell me right now, where are you going to hide eggs?
In the garden. I'm going to scatter them out like 10 seconds before we're going out there.
You're not going to...
I'm at 40%, Mason.
No, I understand.
No, you can't do it the night before, obviously,
Why
because
not?
foxes. There's foxes
The
there.
foxes eat chocolate.
They'll eat fucking anything or anyone.
Huh.
Yeah.
And there's probably like egg foragers in the neighbourhood.
That's
like
right.
Just old men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you do it the morning of.
I understand.
You gotta pin one to the ground and distract
An
them.
egg forager.
No, your children while you scatter the eggs.
Right.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Mason. Just quickly, Big Sandwich this week. We're doing Death of Superman for our comic book club.
That's right, yeah.
That's up at bigsandwich.com if you do want to sign up, as long as a huge back catalogue.
That was a little different than I remember it being.
Yeah.
The first, like when I read it, decades ago.
It was a classic discussion, I think.
In the 90s, 10 years ago.
Yes.
Remember 10 years ago, the 90s?
I remember 10 years ago,
Yeah,
the 90s.
yeah.
That seems right to me. And also our early reviews of Falcon and Winter Soldier, as soon as we record them, go up. But of course, Collins has been editing them, and they go up like the next day on YouTube, and the latest one is up there. But bad news though, Mason, because Jessica Walter has died at age 80.
yeah.
I didn't even know she was 80. I'm like, she's 80? I mean, not now. I mean, she is. You know what I mean?
I do know
you know what I'm
you mean,
saying? Yeah.
Yeah, people will know her, Valerie Archer from Archer.
Yes.
They will also know her as the head of the Bluth clan.
Yep.
Lucille Bluth on Arrested Development.
Incredible performances and gifts of her. Yeah.
Gifts of gifts.
Gifts of gifts, that's
there's
right.
There's no line in that series that... There's no Lucille Bluth line in that show that isn't essentially iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they gave her so many great lines and she just...
God.
pulled them off without a hitch. Just that's maybe the best performance in the show. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's so many.
Yeah, I would say but entirely possible. I just looked into a bit of her filmography, but she started and she did work on like the Mission Impossible series and FBI and Hawaii Five-0 and The Fugitive and all these like incredible shows as well. So what a career!
I know.
Really awesome. 80, boo, because
too young in Hollywood
and
years.
great. So no good. I don't like that.
No.
But what an amazing amount of work.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the segment.
It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10.
That's good. Doing a wink. She's doing a
that's
big
a good
wink.
one. Yeah.
Delays but not dismays, Mason. Our famous segment of the show where I just rattle off a list of things that have been delayed. It's not all dismays though.
No, that's true.
I've actually got a big bit of good news at the end of this of something that's been moved up, which you're excited for.
A lot of people sent in sea shanty themed theme music for it, and I've got one here.
Here we go.
No, that's just the theme of Becker.
We were talking about Becker for 20 minutes before the show.
Yep.
And then I was surprised that Cheers ended in 93 and Becker started in 98, and I always assumed that like there was a larger gap between those two things.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy stuff.
But
anyway, delays but not dismays.
yeah, we watched a lot of Becker in the 90s and early 2000s, which was 10 years ago. But so Black Widow was delayed, but it now has a definitive date of July 9th, including a day and date release on Disney Plus, which is doing the additional fee thing as well. Which I think, obviously, the Raya and the Last Dragon model that worked. So this is what they're doing. They're also doing that for Cruella on May 28th.
What is that?
That's the Cruella.
Cruella
It's
de Vil.
Joker, it's the Joker, but 101 Dalmatians. And Luca is the next, I think it's Pixar, is going straight to Disney Plus on June 18th, the way that Soul is. But it might not be Pixar, but I'm pretty sure it's Pixar. That's a boy and he's Italian, but he's also a merman.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. Yeah, okay.
You vaguely remember it, yeah.
I feel like this particular industry, your Pixars, your DreamWorks, etc., have gone too deep into, we'll just name our movie about a boy who's a mermaid or whatever.
It's already a movie called About a Boy.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But now there's too many.
I agree.
I'm like, what's this one? Oh, he's the merman boy. Okay, great. There's too many of them.
How many merman boy movies are there really?
I mean, there's that one, but all like the movies that are just like it's.
Oh, like the name of a person, and
right.
that's it.
It's
Frank Up.
Yep. I tried to think of one, but all I could think of was Captain Corelli's mandolin. That's not a Pixar movie.
I had a conversation about
That'd be about the mandolin, probably.
I had a conversation about that literally yesterday. A movie I've never seen or thought about. And it's come up twice in 2 days.
Is Nicolas Cage in it? I think
He is. We
yeah.
had this conversation.
Wow.
And we also had the conversation of, is he supposed to be Italian in that or not? And I'm like, I assume that he was like an American stationed over there or something. But I don't know. If you know, let us know.
Email in. Let us know.
So because there's other Disney properties which this has affected.
I just remember the haunting melody of the mandolin itself.
Let's drink it in. It's good, isn't it?
Oh my god. That's going to get the video version demonetized.
Worth it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Put it in every week. Free Guy. No amount of money is what I'm saying, Mason. I will not compromise on this.
The joy in the room and nowhere else. That's what we do this for. So this is Free Guy, the
Free Guy,
Ryan
yep.
Reynolds. He's a video game character
Yep,
movie.
August 13th. Shang-Chi's been pushed to September 3rd, which
Okay.
that was the Black Widow date.
Boy,
all
that
around
really
then.
is a long way to the end of the year, isn't it?
I know. Well, what are we? We're nearly April.
Oh, my God.
The King's Man.
But James, how long is April going to go this year?
We don't know, do
We
we?
don't
We
know.
really don't.
Last year it went for 4 months.
It really did. The King's Man, December 22nd.
God.
Deep Water. I don't know what that is. Let me
Just
check
the
that.
concept of it.
Oh, no.
It's being pushed back.
So
Swim for your life,
14th.
folks. You'll be fine.
And then Death on the Nile is February of next year. I'm just going to check what Deep Water is. There's a mini-series. But what's...
I recently rewatched Murder on the Orient Express because it's on Star.
Oh, yeah. And?
Boy, Kenneth Branagh's got a heck of a mustache in that movie.
Doesn't he? Doesn't he
It's
just?
even, it's like, it's like a double
Yeah.
mustache. It's incredible.
What does Dave Warnocky think about that movie and that performance?
Good question.
'Cause he's a big Poirot fan.
That's true, yeah. Let's ask him.
Let's ask him.
I'll ask him right now.
Yeah,
in
can
fact.
you just get him on the
I'll do
phone?
that. Okay, hang on.
Bring him up, yeah.
I'm just going to... Hey, Dave, what do you reckon about what do you reckon about Murder on the Orient Express, Dave?
Yeah.
He's loving it, I think.
that sounds
I'll
like it.
message him, I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's time codes if you do want to skip it.
If you want to skip all of this, you should put in a time code that's we definitively stopped doing Becker audio drops. Which won't happen. So
Deepwater's a Ben Affleck movie with Ana de Armas. A married couple have fallen out of love and each begin playing deadly mind games against one another. So, yeah, okay, cool. I'll watch those guys who think they're broken up now. I don't know. But I said good news. I promised you good news.
You did, it's true.
Because Spiral, the Saw sequel reboot, has moved up 1 week to the 14th of April or May, might be May, kicking off the summer movie season. That's a kick. That's the sound of a kick.
double kick.
Yeah, you know what is the sound of a kick, though?
I'm writing a message.
Ah!
Ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, boom.
While you're writing to Dave Warnocky, we should talk about the Suicide Squad trailer.
Yes.
I do have a video that's up that I very hastily edited with 6 children, and there was also
With 6
a bridal,
children?
6 children, and a,
Oh, okay,
and a
right.
bridal party in my house for most of the weekend.
Your wife's getting remarried.
She's getting remarried. I can't wait. It's going to be a really good day. I hope I get an invite. But what did you think, Mason?
It looked great.
Didn't it
really
just?
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit bloody. It was a bit. They were all a bit loose as a goose.
Yeah.
We know Amanda Waller is back.
Yes.
Rick
Rick Flag's back.
Yep.
Harley Quinn's back. Captain Boomerang is back.
Yep.
And others aren't back because they're dead. It seems like they're going to kill a lot of these people.
You reckon?
Yes. They're going to kill so many.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
I mean, they are. I'm sure most of these characters. There's got to be one person out there that's like, I love Mongal.
Yeah.
Or I love, Ratcatcher 2.
I think Ratcatcher 2 might survive.
Because she's new?
Yeah. Oh, so is Mongal, but I think that'd be one that you'd think maybe wouldn't.
Yeah. Or you might be like, I love Bloodsport. They're my favorite character.
Yeah.
But also, there's so many characters in the DC universe that they can absolutely sacrifice a bunch.
Definitely. Yeah.
They're not selling that many Bloodsport action figures, really.
No. But the big inclusion, and you can watch that video if you want, but Styro is a major villain / player in this, which is just kind of blew my mind because last week, as people may or may not know, we did a video on DC villains, and that was ranked at number 3 by Games Radar, whatever
Games
that
Radar or
was
something,
from.
yeah.
And we were like, come on, like he's an original villain or whatever, but you don't really see him, and he's just kind of always been around because he's one of the early ones.
Do you think this is an intelligent Starro, or do you think it's is it a world conquering Starro, or do you think it's like just some sort of bio monster that's been dropped on a city?
I think
by
it's,
somebody
I
else?
think it's an intelligent one. I think it's because I think that's James Gunn is like sticking to a lot of the source material.
Right.
And I think that's what he's going to do.
Very cool.
So I love it. And off the back of that, you might have heard this, but Warner Brothers were asked if they were going to develop the David Ayer cut of, excuse me, I got the hiccups, Suicide Squad, and they were like, no.
Wow.
We're
Putting their foot
not.
down. Whoa.
And I've got some more stuff to say about what they will and won't be developing.
Oh, yes.
Later. But
so in this Suicide Squad trailer, we've got Steve Agee as like some sort of
Man in the
surveillance
van
guy.
kinda, yeah.
Is he also Is he also the voice of King Shark?
okay, so he's the body of King Shark, but Stallone is the voice of King
there
Shark.
we go. I wondered about that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What an inclusion.
Right.
I'm loving that. And just the when he rips that dude in half.
Yeah.
And you see like a chicken,
Guts.
like the rib cage is like on one side of him, and he's just
Yeah.
oh man, it's gonna be. I hope it's going to be incredible. It
Yeah.
looks incredible.
Yeah.
I thought the last one was going to be incredible, and it was. So I'm hoping that this one is going to be. But what I mentioned this in the video, but one of the things I didn't like about that last one is they were really kind of apprehensive to just casually kill off a bunch of the Suicide Squad
true,
members.
yeah.
And I feel like there's just so many people in this, they're just going to burn through them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope, at least
Who's
anyway.
Capaldi playing here? Brainwave?
No, Dr. Big Head. I can't remember his name.
I'm gonna look it up.
I did
Here we
put
go.
it in my video.
Thinker.
Yes, the Thinker.
There
yeah.
we go. Terrific.
One of those
Okay.
big brain DC villains.
Okay.
So there you go. So he's probably dead. So there you go. Yeah. Again, I've already done a video on it, so I don't have anything else to say. But do you
Okay,
have other
great.
things that you wish to say?
I'm very much enjoying. Look, I enjoyed Idris Elba's reaction to the idea that there was a kaiju in this.
Yeah.
Considering he definitely has form in that arena. I like John Cena as Pacemaker.
Yeah,
I'm having a
absolutely.
good time. I liked his little polo shirt that he was wearing.
Yeah.
Are they on vacation? What's going on?
I don't know. I
What's
guess
going on with those guys?
they have a change, because it seems like they're in different clothes at one point. So they might, I don't know,
Maybe they're undercover.
covered in guts, and they have to
Yeah.
change their outfit or whatever.
Yeah.
But they also, well, I was going to say something about, yeah, so that's going to HBO Max same day in the US. And it seems like next year that deal is not happening. And they've signed a specific deal with, I can't remember the name of the cinema chain. It's not AMC. It's a different cinema chain in the US where they get like a 6-week exclusive run at Warner Brothers movies. But there are also like areas of the US that don't have these cinemas.
Oh,
so it's
dear.
kind of like, I don't know what they're doing, why there must have been a lot of money involved in it for them to make
Yeah.
that decision. So so the day and date Warner Brothers HBO Max thing isn't necessarily continuing next year for a lot of the movies.
Right.
Which, isn't necessarily a surprise. Do you want some more DC news though,
Yes,
Mason?
love
First,
DC
let's do
news.
some Transformers news.
Okay.
Angel Manuel Soto, who's directing the upcoming Blue Beetle movie, he's going to do the next Transformers movie, according to The Hollywood Reporter.
Oh.
It's going to be not connected to the others.
Oh.
There's a few Transformers things in development at the moment, and I don't really know where they're at or what's connected, or some are maybe just purely animated because of
Yeah,
pandemic
there's going to
and
be
whatever.
another. I guess there's going to be another one of those War for Cybertron continuation of that. I know that only because the toy line has continued forward. There's like
the Netflix series. you're talking
Yes,
about.
yeah.
I couldn't get into that. Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, there you
It
go.
looked nice,
Did look really nice.
but it just sort of clunked along.
To be fair, I only watched like half of one episode, so maybe I'll watch 100 more.
I watched 100 episodes and
And?
it didn't get any better.
Okay.
In my opinion.
In Europe. Well, a lot of people like it.
Mm-hmm.
And but that being said, some people get very disappointed if you don't like things as much as they like things, Mason.
Now, this director, what's he done? What's he done prior
Before
to
that,
this?
I did look this up. There was a lot of good television stuff that he'd done, but I wish I had that on hand.
Like,
I think
does he have form in, an action sequence where there's robots twirling through the air and there's 100 pieces of
You don't
debris
need that. There's a
and
guy.
everything's
There's a
exploding?
guy that does it on a computer.
Yeah, that's
It's fine. You don't need to worry about any of that.
But is he a guy who would encourage that sort of behaviour?
Oh,
Is
so,
my
well,
question.
that's a great question,
Isn't it, though?
I don't know, actually. A number of things that I do not know.
Wow.
So, in answer to your question, I don't know.
That's quite all right. Well, we'll know when his movies come out.
We'll know when we know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Mason, there is more DC news. Before we do that, Deadline are reporting that John Wick helmer Chad Stahelski is going to be working on the Ghost of Tsushima movie for Sony. So they're developing a number of projects, including Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a Ratchet and Clank movie that nobody liked.
Oh, it was computer animated.
Yes.
Okay.
But so there you go.
I would have known about it if it was live action.
Yes, probably. It would make sense. It would make sense to all of us.
Absolutely makes sense.
But
who would Josh Gad play? Ratchet or Clank?
no, he'd be that big, the hero guy, whatever his name.
Uh-huh.
What do you know that guy? He's like a
Gex.
Zap Brannigan type. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Yeah, cool. But those games are good, some of. The new one looks incredible on the PlayStation 5, which isn't out yet. But I kind of would have preferred this to be a series because it is kind of like an ongoing.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of. I love that game. I thought it was incredible. It was an open world game that I hate them now, but that one I loved and I played it
Was
all the
that
way
your last
through.
gasp of open world?
No,
games?
I was done. I was like, I will never touch another Assassin's Creed or any of these. I'm not really into whatever
Okay.
Rockstar are
This
doing.
was just the exception.
Yeah, I thought it was
right.
incredible. It's an incredible game.
Having not played it, this is me. I'm talking about you have played it. You
Yeah.
just said you did. What about this would distinguish it as a video game adaptation of a story from that
Nothing
era?
at all, nothing.
Okay, as opposed to just a story from that
Yeah,
era.
you would
Nothing.
just do it as like, it's like a Kurosawa kind of homage, kind
Okay.
of, which is fine.
Yeah,
I
right.
think. Yeah. It's a great game. Just play the game.
Okay. Something I also saw, I think, on Twitter was people saying who should they cast as the lead, and then other people are saying, why don't you just get the guy
Yeah, because he's the same, isn't he? He looks the same.
He looks the same.
Yeah, that's a great idea. They don't look the same often.
That's true.
It does happen.
Yeah.
But do that. Yeah, do that.
Cool.
Done.
Problem solved.
Easy. We
Yeah,
fixed it.
we did it. We did it,
fixed it. We
folks.
thought of that. You know what's not fair? Do you know what's not fair, Mason?
What's not fair,
Let me tell you
James?
what's not fair. The fact that Netflix hides thousands of shows and movies from you based on your location, and then has the nerve to increase their prices on you. They're doing two things that are not fair.
I hadn't thought about it until this very moment, but you're absolutely right. The very nerve of them, it's not fair. I'm
not
mad
fair.
about it. And why would you bring this up if there's no solution? I'm mad at you as well, quite frankly.
Here's the thing, you could cancel your subscription in protest, but before you do that, Mason, you could be smart about it and do something that is fair.
I've never done something smart in my life, and I'm not about to start now unless it's easy to do.
So actually, you can get your full money's worth by using ExpressVPN like I do. You see, Mason, you might not know that what's on Netflix in your country is completely different from someone in the UK or Japan. Using ExpressVPN, we can control which country we want Netflix to think that we're in. And ExpressVPN has over 90 countries to choose from. So every time, you run out of something to watch, you're like, I've run out of something to watch. It's not fair.
I'm mad about it.
You can just switch over to another country and unlock new shows. So right now, for example, if you're jonesing for some Office and Parks and Rec, but you're like, I don't want to get Peacock or whatever that's on.
Right.
It used to be on Netflix. Well, guess what? If you switch over to Australian Netflix, you can watch both The Office and Parks and Rec. Because they are still there all the time, every time. And the best thing is, it's not just Netflix. You can use ExpressVPN to unlock shows on other streaming services. You can use BBC iPlayer. You can use other players. That's one example. But think of the other ones, and they all do it. Even YouTube.
Whoa.
Yeah. ExpressVPN is also super fast and works on your phone, laptop, even smart TVs, so you can watch your shows on the big screen with zero buffering. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only get access to a fraction of the content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. Don't forget to use our link so you can get three, extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet to learn more about this specifically.
Now that's fair, and I'm not mad about it.
Still mad about it.
I'm mad about it.
I would like to tell you a story, Mason. It's part of an ad, but it's still a story.
So it'll be mercifully short. All right, go for it.
It's pretty long. Now look at it. It's like an A4 page worth here.
But your part of the story is pretty short.
That's true.
Good.
In a tiny apartment in Southern California, two college dropouts, two deadbeats, teamed up to create...
Sound like a couple of cool dudes to me, but whatever.
teamed up to create a watch company that broke all of the rules, Mason. Not all of the rules, not like murders, I assume. Just
Sure.
watch-related rules.
Yeah.
With fair prices, unexpected colours, and clean original designs, Movement grew into one of the fastest growing watch brands, shipping to over 160 countries across the globe. That seems like more countries than there are, probably. Now Movement has...
I'm laughing and I'm learning, James.
Now, Movement has expanded into blue light glasses that protect your eyes from screens, minimalist jewelry, and more style essentials that don't break the bank, all designed out of their California headquarters. Does that sound like a couple of deadbeats to you, like you said earlier, Mason?
I said nothing of the sorts. It's all been recorded, so whatever. You're wearing a pair of those blue light glasses
I
right
certainly
now.
am, Mason. That's right. So here's the thing. Have you got a favourite style of watch?
Bloody James, check this out. Have you ever seen a classier watch? This is the Arc Automatic, James.
My God, Mason, it's so classy.
Look how classy it is. Look, it's got it's got a rose gold case. It's got a very classy charcoal face. It's got a brown leather band, and it's automatic, so don't have to change the battery ever.
That's true. I love that.
Right?
That's classy.
Yeah.
It's not bothering you, because bothering you is not classy.
That's right.
And that doesn't bother you. And it's got a good look. Oh, my goodness. Charcoal face and brown leather band. That's very classy. Yeah. Here's the thing
You've
also.
just learned two new colours, haven't you? Charcoal and brown.
So Movement watches, they have a look and a quality to them of a, say, $400 to $500 watch, which you'll pay in a department store, but cost a fraction of the price because they were built online and own their process from start to finish. You get a beautiful watch shipped right to your door for free. And if you don't love them, you can ship it right back. Also, as you mentioned, the blue light glasses. Now I spend a lot of my days and nights, really. It's mostly nights because it's when I get my work done, because my kids are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to work.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why aren't you working? Get out of here.
So So I wear them literally every night. It's an absolute game changer. It helps with ice drain. It definitely helps with my sleeping pattern, so I can kind of shut down like immediately, so I'm not just like wired as soon as I go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love the modern style of the frames. If you've seen me online, if you've seen my Instagram, I'm often wearing those very glasses that you might know.
That's right. He's not a nerd. He's just concerned.
That's right.
About his sleepy times.
I really am. Now, if you want to elevate your look and style and you don't want it to break the bank, then join the movement and get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/weeklyplanet. Again, that's mvmt.com/weeklyplanet. And then you can be as cool as me and Mason, I guess, if that's what you want. But me. Goodbye. No, more show.
Hey, wait, I'm cool.
No, Mason.
Oh.
They said not to say that in the ad copy.
Huh. Oh, yeah, it's right there in black and white. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, now we're back into DC news.
Okay.
And it's DC news all the way out, Mason.
Okay,
If
great.
you don't mind. Okay, here we go. Ron Livingston will replace Billy Crudup in The Flash
Oh, that's right, yeah.
because Billy Crudup is doing a different thing. Maybe the morning show, maybe a different thing.
Hmm.
Helen Mirren is a new...
Ron Livingston, for people who don't know, is the main guy in Office Space.
Yes, he is, yes. And Berger from Sex and the City.
That's true.
And he's in Band of Brothers.
And he's in that show where he's a hostage negotiator, but he and the other hostage negotiator are a couple. Seen that show?
Is that...
pretty good?
Is they allowed to do that?
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
probably-
Okay, cool.
But in a way, hostage negotiation in their jobs and in their lives. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
My fucking crypto group is going off yet again. I complain about this group a lot to you, don't I?
That's very true.
I'm in a crypto group chat, which is like crypto's up. Oh, now it's down. Yeah, it does it like multiple times a day.
James has had it with crypto.
Becker would have had it with crypto. Colleagues had written the time code down, and now he's just like, nah.
Scrubbed it out. Yeah.
Who edits the show, yeah. Helen Mirren is the new villain in Shazam. It's a new character invented for the movie called Hespera.
Huh.
So there you go. Don't know what the deal with that is. We'll find out when the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't really. The only notable villains I remember from Shazam, DC Captain Marvel,
Sure.
is Dr. Savannah.
Yep.
And the weird worm creature that
Yes.
we saw at the end of the first one.
And
Black Adam,
and Black
I guess.
Adam,
But I
obviously,
guess
yeah.
if they're shifting him to be a
Yeah.
anti-hero.
What about big grey goblin monsters? Do you remember those?
I remember the big grey goblin. Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're into it.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Helen Mirren's great.
Yeah.
I like how she's just like, I'm just going to do blockbusters now.
Yeah, right?
Whatever. I'll do a weird like little Ian McKellen thing, and then
Yeah.
I'll do this. Yeah.
I mean, I guess depending on like how you negotiate as well, they're either an extraordinary amount of work or no work at all.
Yeah.
Because you could just be like, okay, I'm going to be Hespera.
Yep.
And you could just be like, I'll only do the voice. You have to computer generate everything.
Totally, yeah.
Or she could be like, I want to do the ping pong ball suit.
Yeah,
Get me
that's
in there
right.
in the
She
ping pong
seems
ball
like
suit.
she might.
Right? Yeah.
I think she's doing some driving in the next Fast and Furious. Or she did in the last one. I don't know. She's excited about it, though.
I think she was still in prison as of the last
Okay.
Hobbs and Shaw or the last Fast and Furious, I think.
What happened to, what's his name? Shaw's brother. Other Shaw. Is he still in a coma?
Which one's Luke Evans.
Luke Evans. Is he still around?
I don't know.
Bring him back in.
No way of knowing.
He's ripped. You seen him on Insta?
Yeah.
Dude's jacked. In more DC news, this is interesting casting. For Black Adam, Pierce Brosnan has been cast as Dr. Fate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Big bell on his head.
Yep.
Big gold bell.
Doing
what do you
a
think?
big Ankh situation.
Turning up and telling you things are not as fortuitous as you'd think.
yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Big yellow underpants.
Big yellow underpants. Get Pierce
right
Brosnan.
up to his waist.
Yeah.
Up top of his ribs.
Do you think they're going to do helmet off for a lot of it?
Yeah.
Or do you think they're going to cut to the inside of the helmet like with Iron Man, except there's just nothing around him? It's just ringing in his
Yeah.
ears because he's in a big bell.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Should be good.
Yeah, I wonder if they're even going to... Does Brosnan strike you as a costume guy?
I think it's probably whatever. I think
Or is
actors are like...
Would he be more like, I'm in a sanctum and I'm giving you advice and I cannot interfere and I'm wearing a suit
and I'm in this chair.
and the helmet's on the desk.
Okay, yeah, he does strike me as a bit more like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also money.
Good point, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, maybe he'll just do the voice and they'll
Yep.
CGI a big bell on a different man.
Yeah, probably. But they can put him in a big muscle suit. Everyone gets a big muscle suit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't
that's
need to
true.
work out. They just put you in a big
Yeah.
muscle suit.
Also, I feel like, I don't know, would they do the... I reckon it'd be like it'd be a Dr. Fate-esque costume. Like, I don't know if they're going to do the skin tight. I don't think they give him muscle
No,
suit.
because it's in the Shazam universe. So they might.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, even though it is the Black Adam movie. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Give him the muscle suit. Give him the big rubbery muscle suit that I love so much. I reckon we're going to look back on those and go like, poor choice, bad form.
You think so?
I like him now.
Yeah.
But I think the way that we look at like that Flash TV series from the early 90s where
That's the first place my mind
yeah,
went, yeah.
The way he just looks like he's just stuffed with, packing foam.
But I think that's also like, but that was the best example of the genre then.
Yeah.
Like, because we've done we've talked about the 90s Justice League
Yeah.
attempt that they made.
Yeah.
And that was just the Flash stuff, but with less texture and
Yeah.
less effort involved.
Yeah.
And the Green Lantern suit was blue for some reason.
That's why I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good show. That's why they cancelled it immediately. Do you want to know what Keaton's going to do next? Do you want to know what he's going to do next?
After he's maybe Batman again or not
Maybe
Batman again.
Batman, because he might be out. He was interviewed by Deadline.
Just before, I think the modern day superhero stuff is going to stand the test of time. Just the costume stuff.
All of it, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's comic accurate for the most part, but it does have a texture, and a lot of it looks like it is mostly practical.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I think a lot of it is good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm leaning towards more like the Shazam stuff.
Okay,
Like that kind of style.
like shiny and
Yeah, and bright and out there and like obvious fake muscles. And the Affleck suit is mostly that. It's just darker.
that's true.
Yeah. So they know that's what I'm saying.
I think if anything, there might be a lean away more towards, hey, I'm just wearing pants and a leather jacket kind of
Yeah.
vibe. But I don't know if they'd ever go like what's the other option is to just go to like that soft featureless material, like
Yeah, no, I don't like that either.
your Smallville era. That's, I mean,
Speaking
don't go to
of,
that.
yeah, Caravan of Garbage this week, Smallville.
Oh, is that this week?
The
Okay,
Justice
great.
League.
Terrific.
What was I saying? Yeah, so Keaton was interviewed by Deadline, and he said on the topic of being Batman, he said it could be a stupid freaking idea. He hasn't looked at the draft yet because he hasn't had time.
Okay.
And he said, the COVID thing has got me really concerned because he is like, he'd be close to 70 if he's not 70.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing about all projects. I look at it and I go, is this going to kill me literally? And if it doesn't, then we'll talk. So
Great, wow.
basically, he's not 100% in yet
That's
for
fair
Batman.
enough, yeah.
I think he'll end up doing it. I think they'll put in place so many COVID-safe measures that
Yeah,
it would be
yeah.
nearly impossible for
Or
him
again,
to be.
they give him a green balaclava
Yeah,
in his
exactly.
house.
Yeah.
Just doesn't cover his
Yep,
mouth.
you could
and
totally
he does
do
all
it that
these
way.
lines, and then they
Yeah.
draw the old suit on him.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to do anything.
Exactly.
You could Helen Mirren it.
You could Helen
do
Mirren
whatever,
it.
Do whatever you want, Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
at
you
this
really
point.
could. I mean, that's what they did for the Flash in the reshoots for
Yeah.
Justice League. So
I feel
yeah.
we must have talked about this, but I think it's fascinating that people are like, yes, Keaton, bring him back. Whereas, like, when Keaton was first brought in the 80s, people were like,
Oh, yeah.
boo!
The opposite of that.
Not Mr. Mom.
Not Mr. Mom.
No,
yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely not.
People wrote a letter into.
There was
a
they got
survey in
so
Variety.
they got so many letters.
Yeah, like
The
a
comical
campaign and a petition they sent to
Yeah.
the big entertainment magazines. Like, no,
We've gone through the list, I'm sure, about. I think we did a Caravan of Garbage, but I think because there were names on it like Mel Gibson and like Alec Baldwin. It's something to someone you'd think would be a better fit, but no, he was great. Via Variety, Emerald Fennell, who wrote and directed Promising Young Woman, which I don't know if
right.
you've seen yet.
Haven't
It's
seen it yet,
a
no.
fucking amazing movie. You should watch it. She's going to write Zatanna for Warner Brothers and Bad Robot.
Oh.
So, yeah, check that out if you could when it comes out.
I think I probably can.
If it does.
Oh,
Because you know how it goes.
Yeah.
I think there was a Zatanna on Smallville, but there hasn't been much else in live action. to
let
my
me
knowledge.
think. No.
There's been a lot of animated stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
tons
not
of
a lot.
animated stuff. She was in the Apocalypse War animated thing that I
Yeah.
saw the other day.
She's Doctor Strange,
Is she
essentially.
in
if you don't know.
Injustice? One of those, maybe.
Probably.
She'd be in the comic at least.
Everybody's in Injustice. Yeah, so I think that's great. And Doctor Strange, you know what I mean? Sort of.
Sure, yeah.
It's magic. And,
Yeah.
and she dresses like a stage magician, but she does real magic. So cool. I like all of that.
Yeah.
And now some Warner Media news in relation to the Snyder Cut, Mason.
Hot stuff directly from Warner Media.
This is going to go on forever and a fucking day, Mason. So I kind of wish they'd discontinue it, but this is where we're at. We've got some Snyder Cut numbers, some hard numbers in, all right?
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes of it being live, 1.8 million views, right? Wonder Woman 1984
Does
got
this include when it was supposed to be something? Remember when people tuned into something else and it turned into
Great
Justice
question.
League?
They did. I don't know if that's factored in, but Wonder Woman had 2.2, which is
Okay.
obviously more, and it was a new movie. But considering that Wonder Woman was PG-13, which means it's more family friendly,
Yeah.
and it's also a new movie and not a movie that's already released.
And it was on at the cinemas as well in a lot of places.
Yeah, it was on the cinema. And also, Wonder Woman wasn't leaked, which Justice League was before. 1.8 million is it's
pretty good.
it's a lot. Like it's numbers that you can't really ignore. Now you've probably seen this as well. There's a hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Oh, I've seen it.
Which now I've read you have, which now has more than 1 million,
Tweets.
probably close to 1.5 million now on Twitter.
Wow.
Which again cannot be ignored. But Variety spoke to Warner Media CEO Ann Sarnoff.
Now, to be clear, Warner Media wasn't the driving force behind the Snyder Cut, right?
No.
It was AT&T, which
AT&T,
owned Warner
the parent
Media.
company. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Because the structure is AT&T, which is the big communications
Yep.
company in America. They own Warner Media and they own HBO
Max.
and
yeah.
HBO Max.
And they're mostly separate entities, I guess.
right, but
yeah.
but Warner Media, so Warner Brothers were like, we don't want to release this.
Yeah.
And then AT&T said, you don't have a choice,
Yes.
basically, because we own all of you
Yeah.
and everything, so we're going to do it. But they're talking to Warner Media at this point.
Yes.
Okay, right.
So what comes next? She was asked about what's next for Zack Snyder and the movement. She said,
What's new?
with that
was asked.
comes with the completion of the trilogy. We're happy we've done this, but we're very excited about the plans we have for the multi-dimensional DC characters that are being developed right now. It's done.
Okay.
She's saying it's finished, right? She's also, there was a comment which I thought is interesting, and I think this also played a factor. She says, I'm very disappointed in the fans that have chosen to go on the negative place in regards to DC with regards to some of our executives. Some of them were contacted personally and harassed and all these kinds of things for to get it happening or for stopping it or whatever. And I don't know, if it was me and I was on the board and I had like thousands of people harassing me, I would
3 martini lunch, am I right?
Yeah, I know. But I would shut it down. Like, I would be like, fuck you, I'm not doing it.
Out of spite, yeah,
Out of
for
spite.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
what I would do.
Yeah.
And I think, though, I don't think this is over yet. I think it's over
I don't
for,
think it's
I
over.
think it's over for now.
Yeah.
But I think if people are going to come at them in that way, they're just going to knuckle down and be like, no. But I think if you have, like, fan campaigns and you continue to raise money and you tweet about it and you watch it again and again and you get more people to watch it and it sells physical media, that will shift it.
By the Snyder Cut laser discs.
Yeah, exactly. All 400 of
they're
them.
going to be black laser discs. Oh my god.
They
it's
won't
gonna be
work because they're not.
great.
So that's where it's at. And again, I don't think it's over necessarily, but it doesn't look good at this point in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will. But look, I still think that, there are some other things that Warner Brothers are making, which I am excited for.
Yeah.
But that being said, give me an insane movie in the desert, Justice
Yeah,
League movie.
that's right. Give us one more.
Definitely.
That's fine. But also my feeling is, like it or don't like it, it's just a movie. There's no. That's
right, it is, yeah.
On whatever side you're on of don't make another one or do make another one,
Yeah.
just leave. Don't go, if you go to somebody's house,
Yeah.
that's too far.
Yeah. I don't know if that happened, but I wouldn't put it past that happening. Yeah. So there you go. What fun.
It is fun.
Do you know what else is fun, Mason?
It's fun.
Invincible, the
It
TV
is.
series. It's on Prime Video right now.
It's the first 3 episodes.
First 3 episodes.
Got it 45 minutes each-ish.
I love that. I love
good,
I
yeah.
love things that are 45 minutes and 3 episodes.
And yet breezed right through
really
it.
did, didn't it?
Just FYI, you probably will know this if you look at the title screen of it on Amazon.
Oh yeah, it's a massive spoiler. It's on the screen.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm saying not for kids.
Oh no, absolutely
If you're out there
not,
and you're
yeah.
like, ooh, a fun animated series, maybe I'll watch it with my kids. Don't.
No.
Absolutely don't.
We'll do some-
The first episode even lulls you, I think, into that idea.
100%
But
it
do
does.
not.
Do
It's
not.
It's definitely, it's rated R here, so I
Yeah.
don't know what's rated in America.
Similarly, I'd imagine. So I guess we'll do a bit of non-spoilers and then spoilers.
Okay.
I mean, we knew this going in, but the cast is incredible. Do you mind if I rattle off some names?
Rattle off some names. It'll
From the
kill
show.
some time.
From the show.
Oh, not just names?
No, there's a lot of really good names. I'm
Not
excited.
just names in your phone.
No, are you ready?
Yeah. Okay, go.
Okay, there we go.
Read
Sorry.
through the list. Oh, I thought you were going to have some musical backing.
No, I can do that. Maybe I should do that. Stephen Yeun was from The Walking
Yeah.
Dead and directed an amazing movie recently.
Did he?
J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Gillian Jacobs, Seth Rogen, Mark Hamill, Wally Goggs,
Yeah.
Jason Mantzoukas. Just an incredible cast. And so, what did you think of it in general? And
I
what do you
really
think the
enjoyed
story
it.
was?
Oh, no.
Yes,
hang
Mason.
on. Okay, so it's
I fucked that up, Mason.
Sure did.
Yeah.
There's a teenage boy, and his name.
Mark Grayson.
There we go. I was going to say Robert Kirkman, but that's not correct. He's his dad's Omni-Man. He's the greatest
Yeah.
superhero in the world, and maybe he'll be a superhero, and then he is a superhero,
That's right.
leading a double life.
That's
Doing
right.
Superhero
He's been
stuff.
a superhero.
Yep.
Should we just do spoilers?
Uh
Because most of the stuff I want to talk about is spoilers.
Ooh, no, let's do some. I think we
Okay.
can squeeze out 5
All
minutes
right.
of non-spoiler.
I guess
stuff.
people know that it's super violent, right?
Yeah.
People, okay, let's just say that. Well, first of all, I like the look of it. It's like simple. It reflects the comic books. It does feel a bit like initially like one of those DC animated movies because they're saving the White House.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And it's like it's clean and bloodless, and it's superhero stuff. And honestly, that opening, I'm like kind of dull, which is also the point.
Yes,
because it's similarly to the comic, you think it's just like a Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then it takes a turn, and then you're like, oh, you can see people's guts.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and I liked it. So, but that's what I liked about the opening, that it is this kind of like it sets up this universe in a way that like a mid-tier animated DC movie.
And it also feels like perhaps this is what the general public see of superheroes. They see him defending the White House and saluting the president and
That's right. Exactly.
getting out of there.
Getting out of there. That's right. Yeah. There's a few changes that they make to like characters and story elements from the comic.
I think Mark's mother is a way more fleshed out character in this version.
Yeah.
Especially initially. I think maybe she gets more depth in the comic.
In the
books
comic, she does
later.
definitely, because I literally just finished all
Yeah.
144 issues again. That's what I've been reading.
But
Yeah.
if you read the comic books, the first couple of story arcs, she is just sort of like a stoic mother, and she's just kind of like sitting there being like, oh, my husband's off doing superhero stuff, and he'll be back soon, and I'll just sit here in the meantime,
he's-
kind of thing.
yeah.
But in this, she has much more of a colourful back and forth between her and her husband,
Yeah.
and her and her
and
son.
yeah, definitely. Like more of a role in the parenting.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
definitely she in the comics she's more sort of passively sort of standing
Yeah.
by, but in this she's sort of they've sort of very clearly delineated. Okay, well the father is there for the big action stuff
Yeah.
and for tossing the ball around
Sure.
around the earth. But she's there for the human stuff.
Yeah.
And if you have any problems or you're not feeling too good, that's who.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's who you go to, kind of thing.
I think it does evolve in the comics, but I think is what's interesting about the comics is that, and you get a little hint of it, is where like when her husband gets trapped in another dimension or under a pile of rubble or whatever, she's like, it's fine. But you kind of figure out like further on that, no, that has been like taking its toll on her.
Yeah.
Like she does kind of brush it off and like, no, well he's always come back, so he'll come back. But you see that it has worn her down kind of over the years. And yeah, she does become a more fleshed out. And she's quite funny as well in the comics and in the show. Well, they all are. It's quite a funny show in general.
It makes me laugh.
It's a funny show. It did remind me a bit of Sky High at the start with the like he doesn't have his powers
Yes.
and he's not sure whether they're going to kick in. In the comic, it's never implied that he won't get them.
Right,
Like
yeah.
he just will.
Yep.
And he gets them really early. And so I was kind of worried in this that like they were going to drag that out for a couple episodes where he
Yep.
wasn't going to get his powers.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I
Yawn
don't want to
City.
see. Yeah, I don't want to see any of that. And so they kick in
Very
quickly,
early.
which I appreciate. Yeah. All my notes are just like
Okay, let's go to
just
spoilers.
more- so I'm just looking.
If you're looking for some new superhero media,
Yeah.
definitely check this out. And if you've got Amazon, it's free.
Yeah. What I think it also does really well, here's something that's non-spoilers, is it does do like copies of the Justice League. But
Yeah,
there is
right.
and you'll see more as the series progresses, there is an expanse of other characters with different powers and abilities
Yes.
that you see. And all the costumes and characters are very unique.
Yeah.
And there's powers that you've seen a lot of it or that are similar to, but the way that they use them, and it's a very complicated but unique world.
Yeah, and I think we talked because we talked about the first story arc in our other podcast,
Yes.
the Big Sandwich Classic Comic Book Club, the classiest comic book review podcast in
goodness.
town. But Invincible, he is a teenager looking for an iconic costume,
Yeah.
and they really did develop an iconic costume for that character.
Absolutely.
like it's it'd be very easy to be like, yeah, it's it make it kind of Superman-esque.
Yeah.
Which is kind of Omni-Man's is kind of, sort of Superman.
But even his costume is like, it's incredible,
good,
right?
yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's just good, clean lines. And as we talked about, the Invincible costume it's an eye. It's the Image logo.
Yeah, it's very sort of, they've clearly got, I'm not sure who the original artists were, but it's very, very clearly go back to simple, go back to kind of
Ryan
like...
Otterly, maybe?
Maybe. Go back to Fantastic Four, go back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
See what works.
Clean lines.
Steal it.
Slick hair.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've also like updated, because it started in 2003.
Yes.
And there's a lot of references in the comics which are obviously of the year, and and they've obviously moved it up to the modern day. But I think the stuff that they've changed, they've changed some of the races and ages of certain characters, and I don't think anything particularly destroys or enhances anything. I think it's just kind of like they've updated some stuff, but it all they've moved they've shuffled some
They've
beats
changed
around.
they've changed some costume elements and costume colors and stuff like that, but most of it is the same.
And I think sometimes as well they change a character because of the actor that plays them.
Yes.
So Rex is like a white redhead guy, and now Jason Mantzoukas is playing him, so now he reflects him more. Do you know what I mean? There's changes like that.
Insane
which is like,
Greek man.
Insane Greek man, yeah. So I think like stuff like that is like, okay, whatever. Like it doesn't really
There is
matter.
one because if you've got Amazon, what you can do is if you click your remote, oftentimes whoever's in the scene, like you get facts. And,
I love that.
You get facts and IMDb stuff on each of the characters. There's one character. It's the second in command. There's a sort of a CIA-esque or like a.
Oh yeah, that's a surprise, eh?
There's like a CIA kind of like superhero observation agency of some
It's
sort.
Wally Goggs.
There's Wally Goggs, he's the leader. But his second in command, I can't remember the character's name, but he's like bald and he's got glasses and he's kind of overweight and very pale and kind of nervous and whatever. And then you check his detail, and it's the handsomest man in the world providing the voice.
Who was it? I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but...
Because I literally did the same thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to tell me.
I'm like, who's this guy in this? Who's the guy in this scene? I don't... Oh, all right, it's cool.
Let me bring that up. I need to know that, Mason. I need to know this right now. Dun, 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 dun.
I feel like, all I'm saying is they could have gotten an overweight nerd to do it. But, whatever. Steve H is in...
It's Donald Ferguson, who is... No, it's Chris Dimitriopoulos.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's the guy from... Yeah, that's right. He's from Silicon Valley. He's the billionaire guy from Silicon Valley.
Right,
that's the
right.
guy. Yeah. Yeah, that really surprised me when he appeared. Mark Hamill's the tailor as well. He makes super costumes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of really good stuff in there. So, yeah, one of the things that I think they changed quite a bit, which is for the better, is in the spoilers.
Oh, yeah, spoilers. We're in spoilers right now, folks.
This happens at the very end of it's like a post-credits scene, but it goes for like 10 minutes at the end of the first episode, where Omni-Man, for reasons which we'll find out later, decides to murder their version of the Justice League.
Yes.
And in the comic book, he does it really swiftly. He kills them all in like 30 seconds. And they don't know who it is or where he's coming from.
Yeah,
But in this, it's just like 10 minutes of them just beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And it's fucking insane.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
crazy.
Yeah.
Just
limbs are coming off.
the head squish and the eye pops out. Because the other thing is he's so far above them power-wise in the comics that they can't really hurt him.
Yeah.
And they've changed it a little bit where them together can do some damage to him.
Yeah. His power levels seem to be perhaps not entirely... Like, they're not entirely consistent, because later in a subsequent episode, he does, like, destroy an entire civilization.
Yeah.
Like, but it does seem to take him... Maybe he does it over a span
He grows
of weeks.
a beard, yeah.
Yeah. Folks, email in if you watch this show before you listen to this episode.
Yeah.
And if you thought going in that this was going to be a fun, happy, friendly time, and then you got to the part where the dad figure kind of murders
Or even
everyone.
if you knew what was up but didn't know kind of this was
Well, it's interesting
coming,
because, we obviously went in knowing what this twist was going to be, that Omni-Man is...
Should we not spoil the comic?
I think we probably shouldn't spoil the comic. That Omni-Man has some sort of... Omni-Man isn't as heroic as he seems for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
I wonder... If we didn't go in knowing that, would we pick up on things? Because he does seem as a character, like even when he's in his civilian and he's talking to Mark, his son, he seems to be a bit
on the edge.
A bit on the edge all the time kind of thing. Like there's a lot of...
or there's some conflict,
or when he's training him, he hits him too hard. And that kind of thing.
You're right. You don't get any of that in the comics, really. But also, I guess, with the show, there's room to put that in kind
Yep.
of in subtle ways that you maybe can't do in the comic.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
you-
he'll like snap at somebody,
Yeah.
or he very much won't show sympathy for a thing, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this guy's off his rocker.
I did enjoy that where he gets trapped in another dimension, and so he just spends his time there just flying through all their buildings. Like he ruins like the entire planet.
Yeah.
And you do find out, this isn't really a spoiler, but you do find out later in the comic book series that like he's just this like demon that entered their dimension who like ruined their civilization that they're fearful of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I also liked, and he's a similar character in the comics, but it seems like they're doing something different here. There's a character called Damien Darkblood who's kind
like
of
Hellboy?
Yeah, he's like a Constantine-esque
Yes.
like figure from hell who's also a detective.
Yep.
And he's trying to work out what happened to the Guardians of the Globe, which is their Justice League. Also, maybe he let himself get pummeled on purpose so that he'd look like he.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
he wouldn't have even broken a sweat. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
maybe. I don't know. But they did seem like they did hurt him as well. But he in the comics, he spends a lot of time trying to figure out who killed the Guardians of the Globe. And I think in this version, he's probably going to turn up and figure it out. But in the comic, he turns up like issues like way too late, and he goes, "Guess what? I figured it out. It was." It was Omni-Man, and they're like, "Yeah, we know that that happened like 3 months ago." At this point,
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're going to do that turn in here, but I thought that was quite funny. There's also hints in these early episodes that there is more kind of there's future relationships which we'll see built upon, and also more cosmic and alien stuff.
Yes.
Which is how this show kind of blows out. Like it starts as like a small contained Spider-Man almost neighborhood story, and then becomes this like sprawling, multi-dimensional, saga situation,
true, yeah.
which is going to take 10 years. I don't know.
I wonder how many seasons of this or how much of that we're going to get in this season, because the reveal that Omni-Man is not the greatest of guys, to put it mildly, came way earlier in this than I think it did in the comic book.
I want to say it's like issue 4.
Okay, never mind then.
We did talk about it in the book club,
Yes.
club. But because he wanted to do it in like issue 20 or 30.
Yeah.
And they were like, move it up because this is going to get cancelled.
Yeah, right.
And-
unless you do something a little different.
Yeah, and he's really glad that he did. I think it definitely helps the narrative. I think you can't keep it as like standard stuff for too long, because then it's just like, well, then why are we even bothering?
Yeah.
Also, Zachary Quinto's robot, so that makes sense,
that's
doesn't
true.
it? It's just such a good cast, man.
Yeah. We get Seth Rogen as Alan the alien, who
That's the kind of the hint towards the bigger universe.
Yeah,
that we're
so he arrives on Earth. Mark goes into space to meet this guy who continually shows up. He shows up every few years, and fights someone
for a brawl,
and then but no one's ever actually had a conversation with him. At which point Mark realizes that he's been showing up at the wrong planet for years, and now he's in trouble with his bosses, presumably. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, absolutely. So Seth Rogen's also developing a live-action movie of this, which is like unconnected to this in every way. So that's interesting choice. But yeah, Alan the alien plays a much bigger role as well, as depending if this goes in a similar direction. But I'd imagine it's going to be. But
there's been a few surprises so far, which I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm going to stick with this until the day that I die, hopefully.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed it.
The day that you die, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I also saw some reviews that weren't as glowing as I think we are, which is,
Oh, right, okay.
Actually, I hate that. I'm going to sense it very personally.
That's right, you should.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to know if people didn't enjoy this, because I'm sure there's people.
Yeah.
That don't. What about it?
Do you have there the gist of what?
I can't remember. I think it was an IGN review.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I think it was.
This isn't a video game.
Yes.
8 out of 10.
They would make a great video game. But also, I just think it's what's interesting about it, as opposed to like a lot of other comics, and it's like your standard, your DC and your Spider-Man stuff.
Yes.
There's no status quo returning in this.
That's true.
Things constantly move forward. People die and they stay dead.
Yeah.
Characters evolve and change and get stronger and become other characters, and people get their minds trapped in other things and all these other things and clones and whatever.
Yeah, it's not a series where Spider-Man battles the villain of the day and then they sends him to jail, and then he nobody finds out his secret identity,
Yeah.
and then he goes back to normal, and
Yeah.
that's it. So
There's no takesy backsies.
There's no
is what I'm
takesy-backsies.
saying. And I think also what it does well is it can take heroes and turn them into villains and villains into heroes. And even do that like multiple times for different
And
characters.
villos into
Villos into
heroes.
heroes, which is interesting. It does it in like in a very convincing way, or it does in the comics. So
Yes.
again, if you haven't read it, I think if you're worried about it, the comic spoiling it, I don't think... I'm happy I read it, and I'm happy it's a show, so it doesn't bother me either way.
Yeah.
But, maybe you want to wait for the show. Maybe you do, don't you, Mason?
maybe you do, or maybe you don't.
Maybe you don't. Should we move on to the next segment of the show?
I think we should. What we reading?
That's right.
What we gonna read?
Let me get that theme song ready,
Maybe
Mason.
I'll get the theme going. You right?
Yeah, get the theme song. Westworld.
Westworld. All right.
Great stuff. Thank you, Mason.
You're very welcome.
So this week for what
For
we
new
read-
listeners, it's normally a theme song that goes, "What are we reading today?" And then you say Westworld over
But
the
now
top.
it's always going to be the Becker thing.
That's right. Until CBS gets on us, which will be very soon.
So what have you been reading, Mason?
Well,
Or watching or doing?
because there's speaking of references in the TV series Invincible.
My God.
At one point, Mark, the main character, has a girl over at his place.
What?
And she realizes that he's interested in comic books, and he says, "Here's a comic book that I like. It's about an underwater welder." So I reread The Underwater Welder
by Jeff Lemire.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great. I love
Written
that
and
comic.
illustrated by Jeff
Yes.
Lemire, which he doesn't so much do anymore.
No, because he
but-
does a million things now.
Yeah. So he's
amazing, man. I
He's
love
done a
his
lot
work.
of stuff. For people that know, he did Black Hammer.
He did Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, we're probably going to do Sweet
We
Tooth.
might do Sweet Tooth, yeah.
But anyway, The Underwater Welder is a story about a man who does repair work on an oil rig, like underwater scuba repairs.
Yes.
And there's ghosts.
It's ghosts.
Yeah.
And it's about family and death and stuff and regrets.
really good, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good, yeah. Cool.
It's a very it's not a photorealistic art style.
No,
It's black and white, so you've got to factor those two things in.
So you won't like it.
Yeah, you'll hate it. You'll hate it.
Mason didn't like it.
I hate it. It sucks.
Yeah, I went on that bloody tear with when I first... What was the first thing? It was a sci-fi thing that he did about dimensions and time. And then I just went on a tear and I just read like...
Descender?
No.
No.
It was another thing.
Yeah.
But it was like an indie one. And I just went on a tear and I just read like everything he's ever written. He did like... I think did he do Animal Man or Swamp Thing? He did one of those.
I think
remember.
recently it was Animal Man.
Yeah,
I
cool.
think.
Anyways, great.
Yeah.
I read the second issue of The Last Ronin, which if you recall...
Oh, the bloody Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the future. There's only one
future.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
That's right.
left.
Because spoiler alert, they were all murdered. Eastman and Laird are back, but there's other people involved as
Yes.
well, the original creators.
Uh-huh.
But I'd forgotten it because they were really spaced out.
Yeah.
Like the first one came out, and then
Uh-huh.
there was ages before the second one, I think, or I just took ages to read it. But so it gives you kind of more backstory on what happened to the original Ninja Turtles, and I won't spoil who's left, but that's a big plot point of the story. And you run into some old characters who you'd think would be dead, also that pop back up, and it's a future city, and there's like a new Shredder, and everyone's like, boo, sucks, whatever. It's Blade Runner future, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. The future stuff I'm not as big on.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it needs to be like the Blade Runner future. I think it
Yeah.
can just be like, it's New York and it's like 20 years on. But
But there's more.
Yeah, but
there's more present day stuff.
yes,
essentially.
but I really like it. And because most of the new episode is just, a new issue was just them in the sewers going like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
know exactly what you mean.
So that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
And what are you about? You about anything else?
I don't know if I've been about much else. Let me think. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned the YouTube channel Thoughts Line.
Yes.
Lefty videos and stuff. He has a second channel, as people point out, called Scaredy Cats, which is all about horror movies.
Oh,
I've been
I
watching
didn't
some
know
of those
that.
videos because it's good. It's
You're recommending so many things,
I
Mason.
love to recommend things.
Are you allowed to do that?
No.
I mean, in this segment of the show, I guess.
Yeah, that's
we found a legal loophole.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing is I watched Kong is going to beat up the lizard. They're going to fight. They're going to fight, and they're fighting in the cinemas. We're going to do that
They're
this
going to fight and they're going to fight at the cinema.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to fight at your cinema, a cinema near
what?
you.
Whoa.
But we were going to do it this week, but I think it's in the US and the UK. It's not out yet,
Not out
so
yet.
we pushed it back a week. So we'll talk about Kong versus Godzilla next week. But in summary, that was pretty good.
Great. Good.
So I liked it a lot more than I liked the last one, which I did not like very much at all.
Did you like it more than you liked Kong Skull Island?
Maybe.
Whoa.
I don't know. I like that movie a lot. Maybe not. I like that one. But you know what? It's like a complete distillment of a thing that you'd want to see.
Yeah.
And it's short.
Okay, great.
It's mercifully brief.
Terrific. Well, I'm going to see it this week, so
yeah, cool.
That should be good. Hang on. I've been watching more Toy Galaxy as well. That's been filling my time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's stuff on there. I mentioned this, I think maybe last week. It's just a YouTube channel about old toys from back in the day.
Yeah.
And look, watching those videos, I'm like, man, my parents and my grandmother were very indulgent in just buying me at least one of most of these.
You had a biker mice from Mars?
I never had a biker mice from Mars.
I watched that one recently.
But there was one. There's one about Entertech, who made like these realistic water guns that had they were like motorized.
I remember those. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing because I watched this whole thing and I'm like, we never got those, but the Americans got like black ones.
Yeah.
That we got. By the time they came to us, they were like fluoro green with like blue tiger stripes on them, and I'm like, damn.
Those. Yeah.
I remember that.
And you did have one?
Yes.
Damn.
My
goodness.
You would believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, why had a water pistol that was? It was an Uzi. It was a black Uzi.
Yeah.
And you'd slap
Put the
like a
magazine
clip
in.
into it. Like a magazine,
Of real
sorry.
bullets.
Of real bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shot water and a bullet every time you pulled the trigger.
And that was, I think that was that automated? I can't remember.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, you can't get any of that stuff now. They got all the orange
Can you
tip
get
on them.
cap guns now?
Yeah, but they're pretty weak. They're pretty
Oh,
piss
well.
weak. There's another thing that you can
That's
get.
how they advertise them. It's pretty piss
Pretty
weak. It's on the
weak.
box. Pretty piss weak.
Oh, maybe you can't. You probably get them in like very dodgy $2 shops and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
nice.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe not as much. But like I saw a spud gun recently.
Oh, yeah.
For those because we're from the 90s, which is about 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And for those people who might not know, spud guns basically you'd press it into a potato and it would take up a little chunk of potato and you'd shoot it and it would like. If it pinged you, it could it would sting a little. It wouldn't kill you or hurt you that badly. But I found one recently. Someone gave one to my kid. Just a piece, just pointless. Like it didn't have enough power to like shoot the spud out of the.
Oh, it just
because
fell
they were
out.
like if you remember they were like metal
Yeah, I remember.
with like a steel spring in it.
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not saying they should bring that back because they probably should.
I think they should just bring back the steel springs. Little kids can fight with them.
Yeah. So. I don't want to be one of those back in my day kind of guys because I'd hate those guys because they're the worst.
Yeah.
I told you about the resilience counselor that came to my son's school. Did I tell you about that?
No, is this an off-air conversation? I think it might be.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll briefly talk about it.
Here we go.
But there was a moment, and it was pretty good at resilience, but she was of the boomer age. And then at the end she literally read like a Facebook post where it was like, back in my day, we used to drink from the hose. And we didn't used to wear seatbelts and we all survived. And I want to be like, people do drink from the hose. That's not a big deal. And also, that's insane to not wear a seatbelt. Like, some survived, but a lot of people were mangled. Like, a lot of kids were mangled because their parents were drunk driving and they weren't wearing seatbelts. Like, that's not resilience. That's stupid. You did a stupid thing. And she ended it with like, well, I live in the inner city. I live in like Brunswick or whatever. For those people who don't know, it's a pretty fancy part of town or whatever. And she's like, and where are all the kids gone? There used to be kids in the street all the time. And I'm like, because you fucking bought all the houses. Nobody I know can buy a family home in the inner city.
Right?
You out of your fucking mind?
All the houses are
What's this
$1
got to do
million.
with resilience also? I
don't know.
I'm the snowflake though, because look at me bloody go off.
Right?
Anyway, that's enough. That should have been an off-air conversation. Kids these days, you know?
Yep, I know.
They don't know how good they've got it.
She's behind you, James. The woman you were talking about, she's behind you the whole time, Becker style. You got to walk back your words now, Becker
I'm not going to do
style.
it.
Whoa.
I'll double down because I'm Becker.
Wow.
I'll double down.
That's incredible.
So was that also the theme song for the latest theme?
No, I've got a different theme song for that, actually.
Okay, let's bring it up then.
Goes like this. The classic one was...
I thought you were going to play the Becker.
I was thinking about it.
You should have.
You're here right now. We're going to do that as... It's a delicate balance. Is
It
how
is,
that
isn't it?
works.
Yeah,
You
you're absolutely right.
got to pick your battles carefully.
You're
you know?
absolutely right. If you do want to reach the show, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com if you do want to shoot through a Gmail
Yeah, shoot through a Gmail.
to myself or Nick Mason. What do we got, Mason? What do we got?
Here's an email, James.
I love emails.
This is from Eva.
Hello, Eva.
To James and Mason, I'm a new-ish listener to the podcast and wanted to write in to say how much I love it. I live in Brighton, UK. So like many, I still can't go to the cinemas. Listening to your podcast is the next best thing, and I'm so grateful.
Disagree.
My questions to you both are, how did you initially get so into films, comics, etc.? And what is your favourite or most memorable cinema experience moment?
My goodness.
Mine is when a guy at the back of the cinema dramatically threw all his popcorn into the air while shouting no as Gamora hurtled off that cliff in Infinity War. Thanks again from Eva.
So, my memorable experiences are people like being dicks.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like a positive.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I have a positive one.
When Steele Saunders, friend of the show,
Yes.
did the, I think we all went to Force Awakens. We did a midnight screening of that.
Oh, you did that. I didn't do that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, you missed out, and it'll never happen again.
It's true.
But that was a really good.
Yeah,
that
cinema
was
experience, yeah.
It's a great cinema experience. I really do enjoy it when people all get they get all gussied up in their
And
in their little outfits.
just people who were excited to be there.
Yeah.
Or I sat next to him during Civil War.
Oh, yes.
When we saw Civil War in IMAX when that came out.
Because that's got a scene that is
It's got a Star Wars scene. And he was
reminiscent.
loving it, mate. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
He
actually.
puts-
a good
I look forward
experience.
to the day when he can run those kind of things again, because that was all his
Yeah.
his scheming and his plotting.
That's right.
To get
And
all
he'd-
that together.
And
It
he'd
was a
fly
real-
down for like
Yeah.
the premieres often as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. So we'll get some new Star Wars stuff eventually, which we'll probably end up
Yeah,
doing.
I miss big event stuff.
Yeah, totally. What was the last one I did? I can't even remember. Oh, no, I did Raya and the Last Dragon. Went and saw that. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was the dragon there?
Yeah, the dragon was there. It just fucking cut loose, mate. It was insane.
Oh no.
There's kids there.
Whoa.
It was a bloodbath. But no, actually, I do like taking my son to the movies now. It's fun, and he likes everything. At this, he's at the age where he's
That's
like,
true, yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
When do you think he'll tip over the line?
Find
Because it
out.
took us till like
I'm gonna break-
adulthood
I'm
before
gonna-
we were
I
like,
can-
hey, some movies suck.
I reckon I can break him before that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, so that I'm actually really enjoying. That's a positive experience because you give him a little popcorn, he sits there and like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean. And I get a little selfie, which is just for us because I don't post them on social media. But that I really enjoy. That's really fun. Yeah, and it's also I think what was the other question about? When did you get into stuff?
Yes, that's right.
I just always liked. I remember there was like a 90s Zorro TV show which I just watched religiously. Like I always just, you know what I mean? My first movie I ever saw was like Superman 4 in like the cinemas when I was like 3 or whatever. Like all of the 3 or 4. So all of these things are like things that I.
Yeah, I think the first movie I saw in cinemas was Transformers the movie.
Oh my God.
So as a I think that
You've been really young, yeah.
That set me up for traumatic experiences at the
Yeah.
movie. Like stuff's gonna happen because it was, I'm sure I've talked about this endlessly, but
Yeah.
like the Transformers cartoon, nothing happened.
Nothing ever happened.
It was fine.
Yeah.
But then you go to the movies and everything happened. It was like you go to the movies and your world's gonna change.
Yeah.
All your favorite products are gonna die, and they're gonna introduce new products.
Wheelie or whatever his name is.
Yeah, wheelie.
It was really distressing.
It was really distressing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the first movie that I saw that I'm like, oh, movies are bad. That was Godzilla 98.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was really looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I was still in my teens. It was not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
90s. It was 10 years ago.
You went in there, you're wearing your Puff Daddy suit.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember I had to see it twice because my little brother then had a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I went the second time. And I was like just climbing up the fucking walls, mate. Like I was just like, it was killing me. I'm like, I fucking hate this. And I can't believe I have to see this stupid fucking movie twice. And I've always hated that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
You've
what.
watched it more since then.
I've watched it too many
we've gone
times.
back many times somehow.
Yeah, but I enjoy like a guy flipping out. I enjoy like a little altercation, like with
Yeah.
other people. I'm into that.
Sure. A confrontation. Sure.
Yeah, man.
That sounds really stress-free. Sounds really good. I would look forward to that also.
But I enjoy, like, I went and saw King Kong on like the last one, whatever it was called. It was like a Thursday night or a Wednesday night, whatever it was. And like, it was packed and I just went by myself. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if anybody's like, that guy's sitting by himself or whatever. I like being there.
You could be like, I'm doing this for a podcast. And they'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
We know, we can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at, I mentioned earlier, I went to a comedy festival show, Lauren Bonner's show, and I was in the second row. And because the lights are in the performer's eyes, they can't really see anybody past like the first row.
Thank God.
And she's like, okay, you're a guy in a flannel shirt, glasses. Do you have a podcast? And I'm like, we've been on this podcast.
Did you say that? That actually
Yeah.
Did you know it was you?
Yeah, she figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Here's another email, James. You ready for this?
I love emails.
This is from Richard.
Hello, Richard.
It says one actor, one Suicide Squad.
All right.
Hey, long-time listener. Love your stuff. I'm a muncher of your big sandwiches.
Yum, yum,
My
yum.
girlfriend and I like to do the pop culture thought experiments you guys do, and the latest one we got into was which one actor could make the best Suicide Squad with their own roles.
Oh, my God.
So best we came to was Chris Evans because he's Captain America, Johnny Storm, Lucas Lee from Scott Pilgrim. He's a scientist in Sunshine and an assassin in The Losers. It's him or Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, but he'd be mostly different Wolverines, wouldn't he?
That is true. Or Greatest Showmans.
Or
you
Van
need a
Helsing.
showman
Yeah,
for
that's
the
true.
team.
And Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they obviously don't have to be comic book characters.
No, they could be anything.
Would you
I
do
think.
like a Stallone where he's Cobra, where he's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, where
Where he's the Demolition Man.
yes, where he's various Rockies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's young Rocky. He's Rocky with cancer. He's Rocky, he's recovered. He's all right. Thank
He's Rocky,
God.
but he's deaf.
Yeah, that's right.
Or blind, whichever one it was.
Punch drunk or whatever. The one where he wasn't allowed to fight because he
Five,
was
yeah.
because he was punched too much.
Yeah.
Like Arnold, you could do a similar thing. Obviously,
true,
you
you
could
could.
take any like classic action hero.
Yeah. But I feel
What about Simon Pegg? Various Simon Pegg
Oh,
roles.
yeah, that's true.
What about you could do like the Hot Fuzz, the
Nicholas
Cornetto,
Angel.
or the Cornetto trilogy, and just
Yeah.
fill it with those characters.
Yeah, I think for the purposes of this, I feel like you shouldn't be able to do Schwarzenegger, but just 5 Terminators. I think that's
Okay.
boring.
What would your 5 Terminators be?
What do you mean?
Would you pick 5 Terminators?
No, I'm saying you can't do
Oh,
5.
you can't do
You
5.
can't
Oh,
do
no,
5
of course
Terminators.
not.
You can't do
I thought you
5
meant
Terminators.
different Terminators. So it's a liquid one. But they're not. There's no personality in that, is there?
If you're going to do Schwarzenegger, you have to do John Matrix from Commando.
Yes.
You have to do a Terminator.
You have to do the Last Action Hero.
You have to do the Kindergarten Cop.
Yep.
That takes a turn at the end.
You have to do the one where his daughter's turning into a zombie or whatever.
Yep, that one. Yep.
That one, yeah.
You have to do
the one he did with Johnny Knoxville.
Jingle All the Way.
Yes, that's
yeah,
right.
he has to be Jingle.
All of the way.
All
God
of the
damn
way.
it. Yeah.
Sean Bean.
Yeah.
You get Alec Trevelyan.
That's good because of the deaths thing as well, obviously.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay, my pick's Sean Bean because you get him, you get his character from Game of Thrones, whatever that guy's
Yep.
character's name. You get Boromir.
Yep.
You get the unkillable guy from the Hitman games.
Yes.
You get
Is he in that?
what?
Is he an unkillable guy in the Hitman game?
Yeah, he's like the one guy that Agent 47 couldn't kill the first time.
Okay, right.
And you kill him the second time.
Cool.
He's called like the Undying or something like
Right,
that.
gotcha.
But you get him.
You get him
You
good?
kill him really good.
Is he all right?
No, he's dead.
Good.
Yeah, but that
Which
fits-
Which Hitman game is that?
This is Hitman, the new ones, 1 and 2, I think. Yeah.
Are you killing him in the second game?
Yes.
Oh my God, I got to play those. They're doing the new Bond game. I'm so excited.
Yes. I reckon I'm going with Sean Bean.
I reckon Keanu Reeves would be a good one as well.
Oh, yeah, you get John Wick.
Yep, you could get he's in
Neon from The Matrix.
Neon. You could get whichever English dude he played from Dracula.
Yep.
Yeah. You could do Bill and or Ted, whichever one he is.
You could get him. You could get himself from Always Be My Maybe.
Perfect.
He's always getting into a
you
scuffle.
could.
Yeah.
Oh, you get the whatever his name is in Speed. There's some good Keanu Reeves ones. Yeah. Exactly. The Last Ronin Keanu Reeves, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cyberpunk.
Yep. And Cyberpunk.
You said they're doing Berserker? I was meant to
Oh yeah, I read
put
that.
that
So
in
I
the
also
news.
read that this week. I
Is it
forgot
good?
to mention it. It's pretty good. I mean, it's thus there's only one issue out so far, and it's
Okay.
it's fairly standard fare. I'm an immortal. What's my bloody life like? you
Blah,
know?
blah, blah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all right.
Is it the Highlander-esque then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's I mean he's one of those guys where I think like no matter how he's for people that don't know, Keanu Reeves has co-created and co-written
Yes.
a comic book called Berserker, in which the main character looks an awful lot like John Wick.
Yes,
Keanu Reeves,
yes.
John Wick. And he's basically he's a special forces guy, and he's immortal he's a special forces guy. And the first issue he gets sent on a mission, and as the issue goes forward, you sort of realize that he is immortal. He's been around for a really long time, and as he's like mowing down people because he can't be stopped, you get the idea seems to be that he doesn't remember a lot of his past because he's so old, but he's joined forces with this organization because they're trying to find a way. He wants to die, basically.
Yeah.
They're like taking samples off him and doing
Gotcha.
various research because they're like, okay, because they want to make more of him.
Yeah.
But he just wants a solution to him being alive all the time.
Gotcha.
He doesn't want to die necessarily. He just wants to know that he can if he
Okay,
feels like it.
gotcha. I just thought of a good one though.
Pretty good.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Charlize Theron. Here we go.
Oh, you're going to say Charlie Sheen, but all right.
Pretty good too.
Yeah.
Aeon Flux.
Yep.
Hancock.
Yep.
Atomic
Atomic Blonde.
Blonde, exactly.
Furiosa.
Prometheus. So, like, yeah, exactly. You put in The Huntsman's Winter's War, or whatever
yeah.
it is. Atomic Blonde. Fast and Furious.
Yes. Helen Mirren.
Helen
Mirren.
Yeah, so
I don't know what else she's been in.
the old guard as well.
Yep.
Imagine that team.
Helen Mirren's in Retired Extremely Dangerous.
That's right, yeah. So that's
that's a good
Monster,
one.
her character from Monster.
Yeah.
She'd be an awesome one. Yeah.
That's good.
Good stuff. I have a tweet here, Mason.
Go on.
It's related to the Justice Leagues from Jack Dimmock, who says, we just wrote hashtag Weekly Planet Pod, and he linked us into this IGN article where it said 24 minutes and 7 seconds of Zack Snyder's Justice League are in slow motion, or 10.35% of the film's running time without the credits. Yes, we seriously counted each second. So yeah, we did wonder in our review how much of that would be, how much of that movie is in slow motion.
Yeah,
and
that's
now
right.
We know.
Now we know.
Also, we got a few people have requested that we do a hate mail segment from our Justice League review, which we put up on the YouTube. But here's the thing: it's just not like I went through it, and don't get me wrong, it's hate city in there.
Yeah.
But none of it was particularly like interesting or like. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing. There was nothing real. I think that it will come like over time.
Yeah.
But like the immediate response, there's a lot of like, you just don't get it. There was a lot of like Mason is upset that I liked it, which
I'm mad about it.
I don't know why you would care. There are actually comments about the black. He had the black suit because it absorbs more sunlight, which isn't hate mail. But I just wanted to address that but I would argue there's no indication in that movie that he's underpowered at any point.
Correct, yes.
Like he comes flying out of that fucking thing.
That's right.
And then tears apart the Justice League. And also, if he wanted to absorb more sunlight, he should fight in the nude.
Yeah, or fly into the sun.
Or fly into the sun, yeah. And the other complaint was that if you think it's too long, it's the same as binging a TV show. But my argument would be, you wouldn't binge a TV show you don't like.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't like the movie, then it is a chore. I don't binge 4 hours. I did like it, but I wouldn't binge 4 hours of a show I don't want to watch. Is my point.
Yeah.
But like, your attention span isn't long enough. No, they just didn't like it.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Looking forward to answering questions about the
gonna be
Snyder
great.
Cut for the rest of my life.
I did get a tweet here from
I actually do enjoy it. Like I could talk about Snyder stuff
definitely.
forever. I really enjoy talking
We'll never
about it.
stop.
Yeah.
Arizona Sky asked a question about, actually brought to my attention that Godzilla vs. Kong doesn't come out until the 31st in some places. So yeah, that is partially the reason why we've moved it back.
Yes.
Do we have anything else, Mason, or should we do our audio thing?
an audio
that was
thing.
sent?
Do an audio thing.
So if you do want to shoot through an audio question, you can shoot through an audio question. I will play it into the podcast feed.
Just record it on
That's right.
your
And we need your
telephone.
headphones,
Oh,
Mason,
yeah.
if we're going to do this.
Just record it into your mobile telephone.
That's
and
right.
Then send it through an electronic mail.
That's right. And then we'll know what you've done.
We'll know what you've done.
Keep it,
all right.
keep it 30 seconds. Keep it brief. Yeah. But I really enjoy these.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Sign that up. You listening?
Yeah.
Good.
I knew you were going to do that. You should have just said Becker before you.
Good stuff. Here's
That
the
is
real
good.
one.
Okay.
It's from Rye Guy.
Oh.
Oh, it's making me download the fucking file. Here we go. Hang on. God damn it. I shouldn't have spent all that time lining up the Becker theme. I should have done this instead.
Oh, we've lost the episode. It's all right.
Banana. Here we go.
Hi, my name's Ryan Murphy. I'm from the U.S. I was wondering, do you guys think it's possible that Martha Kent from Zack Snyder's Justice League has always been Martian Manhunter, and that's why her and Pa Kent were never able to have a baby? Because we never see Martian Manhunter and Martha Kent in the same room, so it's possible. Also, if you could shout out my brother Ian and my friend Anna, they're both big listeners of the podcast. And yeah, thanks for all the audio commentaries and podcasts for me to listen to in this time. Appreciate it. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
shout out to Ian and Anna. Fantastic stuff.
What a world.
What a world.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so there is that question of like when did the
When was this-
crossover happen?
yeah, right.
I think it was probably only that scene with like Lois Lane.
Well, I'm going to say whole
Always.
time. Yep.
So he was doing Harry Lennox? What's his name? The
General
actor.
Swanwick.
Yes. He was doing that stuff.
Double duty. Yeah.
Double duty all the time.
He was a faithful wife and also a general.
Do you think he took over that general, or do you think he came? Worked his way up through the ranks of the army, like started as a young man and like aged in real time. Do you know what I mean?
Or do you think that maybe he maybe Swanwick is a real guy for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
and then
okay,
he
right.
swapped, and then he killed him.
Yeah, he killed him. Yeah,
Killed him and ate him.
Yeah, that's
took on his
because
form.
he's a cannibal in this.
He's a cannibal
I guess
man.
technically it's not cannibalism because there are different.
Nah, you can eat whoever you want.
That's right, different species.
Fine.
Yeah.
I bet that's how he justifies it to himself. I can eat whoever the fuck I want.
Right.
I can tell you what to eat. I'll eat a man. I'll eat Ma Kent.
That's right.
Marry her husband.
Oh, you think that's what happened? Do you think Pa and Mark Kent got married and then he showed up and ate Mark Kent?
You know what I think? I think he's everybody in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good guys and bad guys?
Everybody.
Whoa.
At all times.
Whoa.
Or is it at the very least both Ma and Pa Kent? I don't know why he's doing it.
Yeah.
But he just is.
Wow.
But that would mean like he'd raise Superman. That'd be a whole other thing. Because then like in Man of Steel, he's like surprised by him and
Oh, that's true, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
and wouldn't Superman be like, you smell like my mum? He's got super smell.
Oh, that scene in Man of Steel where he's behind he'd be like, that guy's got lifesavers in his pocket or whatever, and that guy smells like my mum. Doesn't look like my mum, though.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Terrific stuff.
It is terrific.
It does make you think, though, because there is no hard line in when this kind of happens.
That's true.
You know, put it out there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rye Guy.
Martian Manhunter has eaten a lot of people.
I reckon he's eaten so many people.
Yeah.
Like a buffet.
Yeah.
Okay, we got anything else, or is that it?
That's the whole show, I
My
reckon.
goodness, Mason.
Yeah, right.
Time flies.
Folks, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
subscribing. Thank you
Yeah.
for telling a friend. Thank you for lying to a friend to get them to listen under false pretenses.
We love that.
Folks, if you want to get a hold of us. Oh, wait, sorry. Also, you can leave a nice review.
Got
You
some
got a
reviews
couple
here,
there,
Mason.
yeah.
You can do it in-app. It's as easy as this. Open my app and I go, my podcast app. Is there a way to review podcast? Oh, there is.
Oh.
And then you give us a review.
Oh.
Like Scott,
yes.
War Eagle, who says,
My goodness.
5 stars, started listening in high school and now I'm getting my master's degree. I've been an avid weekly wackadoo since before the term weekly wackadoo was coined by a certain internet celebrity.
Whoa.
Sorry, hiccups. I started listening after watching the Interstellar Explained video that got a lot of people on board, and it's one of my worst videos.
Great.
When I was in high school. And now
So think what you could do with a good video.
I know. And I'm a full-fledged adult about to go back to school to get a master's degree. James and Maso's hilarious banter and insightful movie knowledge helped my sleepless study nights in high school and undergrad much more entertaining and bearable. So I'm sure the show will remain at the top of my podcast rotation throughout graduate school. Thanks, James and Mason, for being hilarious and for shooting red hot comic book movie news straight up my Westworld. P.S. Can I be the official full-fledged adult who's going back to school of the podcast?
Yes.
Yes, you can do that. Or you can do this review bra of apps says, a shreckingly good time.
Nice.
Spellbinding. 5 stars. So I really appreciate
If you go
that.
to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group,
Yes.
which you can, it turns out any number of listeners have been Shrek in various productions of Shrek.
What?
There was a thread about it.
What do you
A lot of
mean?
people posting photos being like, well, I was Shrek. So,
I have not seen this.
well, you should track that down.
My goodness.
Everybody should track it down. Go to Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group and just have a good time. Have some chats about all sorts of pop culture stuff and podcasts and all kinds of things that you like.
agree.
You can also go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from Great Rob Collings. He's at Raw Collings on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter.
He really
I
is.
am Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and also on Instagram. I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseau. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Ciao.
If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You can chuck in a buck.
Give us $1.
$1 will keep the lights on here.
Or the other thing. With
You
the
go
more
to the
stuff.
Amazon affiliate link description.
that as well,
Amazon
yeah.
affiliate link in our episode description. You click through there, you buy some stuff through Amazon and get it delivered to your door. But also you can go to bigsandwich.co. You can sign up for $9 dues per month.
That's right.
We give you bonus podcasts and movie commentaries and early videos and all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
great.
There's a huge back catalogue. If you want to sign up and download everything and leave, that's fine too. We
right.
can't stop you.
That's right.
Yes. We will one day.
One day we'll do it.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you do it, just know there will be some...
We're noting your name and your
repercussions
name down.
that's-
There'll be big trouble later. You won't know when, but it'll happen.
Yeah, but it's coming. Yeah, that's right. Live in fear.
Live in fear. T-shirts on tpublic.com.
Yeah.
Get a T-shirt so we'll know who you are. Thank you to The Brute and The Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes, and that's the whole show, I reckon.
I'll show. So like we mentioned, next week is Kong's... He's fighting a guy, Blizzard, actually.
Yep.
Are you excited for it?
Yes.
Are you excited for some surprise monsters, maybe?
Yes.
just stay off YouTube because there's just like clips.
Oh, it's just
everywhere.
out there, okay.
I think it leaked. A bunch of it leaked.
Oh, really?
Oh, someone would have pirated by now anyway because it's
Oh, that's
in
true,
cinemas.
that's
But
definitely,
it's worth seeing in the cinemas if you can. But also watch it on TV if there's a virus near and dear to your heart.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it, Mason?
That's the whole show, yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Grab
and,
that gem, you guys. We'll
see you next week.
Oh, you okay?
I can do it.
No, no.
I can do it through the computer.
No, we're doing it like this.
Good stuff.
Oh,
See you later, guys.
bye everybody.
I'll put it in for real.
Is it just Becker again? I can't hear it. Yeah, of course it is. James, of course it is.
Why are we like this?
I don't know.
Planet. This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want, it's up to you.